Guys, welcome back to my channel. If you want to achieve this wig look, keep on watching. So first you want to start off with your braids and get your cap. Make sure you actually use a mirror, don't be like me, and line up those lines to make sure it's in the middle of your head, not tilted. You'll see later on I fix that. But put it on, and you're going to take your white eyeliner or white pencil, whatever you have, measure where your ear is, make a thick line so you could see. And you're going to do the same thing on both sides. Then I like to go down the middle of my head just so I know where my parts are. I like to go in the middle part and side parts. So those are what the lines are for me. So those are our, I guess you could call it line-up line, but either way, you'll see. Alright, so I don't have a mirror in front of me, so I'm going to try and go off of the little mirror that I see in the camera. So what I'm going to do is apply the two ends to the hairline, about so. Alright, and then measure where the top of your hair is. So I'm going to take my ears right there. When you are finished lining that all up, it is time to make this unit. First, you're going to need some T-pins to hold down your frontal. Then you are going to match up those white lines, as you see me doing. That's where we parted, and just pin it down with the T-pin. So a note that I noted to myself is that if you pull your frontal down a little bit more down, you have a little bit more room to wiggle with. I don't know if you have a big head like I do, but I have a big head. So with this one, I didn't pull it all the way down, but it fits perfectly. But if you want to pull it down more, especially if you have a big head. So note to self for my next wig. When you pin your hair down, make sure it's nice and snug and there's not really too much flaps. But then again, if you do have flaps, it's just giving you extra space. Like you see, I fold over my flaps just to get out the way. I just need it nice and snugged. Then I just braid the hair down, pin it down in the back, and start sewing my frontal on. The little trick that I like to do when I sew is open the thread up and pull it through just so it's nice, tight, and locked. And then continue the, I guess, under overstitching way. So you put it down and you loop the string around, pull it through. So you're making mini knots throughout the whole thing. I keep sewing very closely and slowly together just because the tighter it is, the flatter it lays. So when you cut, you have a less chance of having mini gaps in between. I'm not gonna show you me sewing down the whole frontal because I mean, if you see how I'm doing this and you get it, you just continue the same motion all the way down. I don't want to waste you guys' time because it takes some time to do this. By the way, y'all, sorry if my voice is very raspy. I don't know why, my voice has been going in and out lately. I think I've been screaming too much when I go out. So on that note, I'm just gonna shut up and let you guys watch. I'm using Rio bundles. I'm using the single bundles, not the multi-pack, because it brings out more hair. And the frontal I use is a 16-inch frontal. I'm going to start with the 20-inch. and put that to the back, the 20-inch, and put it in the back. So this is what the frontal looks like after it's sewed on. I leave this little piece here so I could connect and put it over. Okay, y'all, now you're gonna get your bundle and you're gonna put it as close as you can to your frontal. I like to pin mine down. Some people are skilled enough to not pin theirs down, but me, I'm not that skilled. Even though I have my license, I am not that skilled. So I need to pin it down and around, and keep it nice and tight to where I need it to be because it makes it go faster, at least for me. Alright, now you're going to take that thread that we had left over and start sewing. When you sew, you're just going to try not to get on that elastic, because if you sew on the elastic, it's just not going to be as stretchy, and you're going to feel it that it has no pull to it, and you want it to have some pull, or else it's going to be super snug, tight, and you're going to get a headache. I mean, if you're going for that, then hey, you could sew all you want on an elastic. Me, I'm not trying to get a headache, and I'm trying to wear it for a couple of days in a row. When you see that the sewing is starting to get a little hard for you to do, just cut it off, tie it up, make some knots. I do like my little first grader knots. I separate it and swoop, loop, pull, swoop, loop, pull. And that's it. I mean, it stays on because I do a couple of them, and that's as best as I need to do it because it works for me. And here's just a close-up of how I brought the stitch to the bundle. I only did a little piece, as you can see, but it's nice and close. That bundle starts right there, and I just sewed that little piece. Then you're gonna lace up your needle again. I was about to say string. Then you want to lace up your needle again and just start sewing like you normally sew, or like how you saw me sew my frontal. Same thing, you're gonna go in and pull it through, and it's just a knot. No biggie. Again, don't forget, do not do that elastic. Be very careful with that, unless you want headaches. And as you can see, I go as close as I can to the other side of the frontal, and then when I get there, I'm gonna, oh, I had a knot, I'm gonna just pull it over to the side. Make sure it lays as flat as possible because you'll start feeling those bumps if you don't lay it as flat as possible. Again, I like to use my T-pin to hold it down so there's no lumps or bumps, and this makes me move faster. On a side note, don't push it all the way down like I did. I realized that it was taking me a lot longer to pull those stupid T-pins out afterwards. Just put it in halfway because a little bit goes a long way. But anyways, back to the pullover. You're just gonna sew that down. You're gonna pull your thread as tight as you can without snapping it, so that curve or that flip over or whatever you want to call it lays flat. So what I'm just showing you is that this is one bundle of that Rio hair. Like, that's how full those bundles are. I was doing this and I was like, oh man, I'm probably gonna only need 1.5 bundles or like 2 bundles. And I was doing it really, really close. So I was shocked that it took up so much space. Because if you can see, I did it really, really close. But anyways, as you're starting your next bundle, make sure, again, it's as close as you can to that first bundle. Just line it up as tight as you can, as close as you can. And again, as you can see, I'm using that same needle and thread just so it can attach, so it just works out better for me. I feel like if they're attached and you accidentally like cut a piece from another needle and thread, then it's like, oh, okay, you can just sew that up really quick. But I mean, it works out for me. You guys can do your own ways. I'm just trying to show you another angle of me doing the sewing method that I do, just because some people like to see different angles. You know, everybody like angles. Angles makes everything look better. Okay, so now that we're getting closer to the top part, we want to leave some space, like where our ear is. That's how I usually measure it. Where our ear is, I like to fold it over a little bit so I can have some space, because what I like to do is put a track around the top. You'll see later on in the video, just so if I want to pull my hair back, it looks better and it looks flatter and you don't see those little bumps. So the other track, again, when you see it later, you're gonna see why I do this. So as you can see, I have all that space. Again, I like to cut, when I get closer to the top, I like to cut it just so it lays flatter. But now I'm gonna add my track as close as I can to the frontal, and I'm gonna make this U shape to it, just so, again, when I pull my hair back in a ponytail, it lays nice and flat, and nobody's gonna tell that I have all these bundles in my head with this frontal, because I'm gonna be like, what lace? What lace, y'all? But anyways, you can keep watching. You can see how close I'm putting it to the frontal, just so kind of it blends with the other stitching that I did. Look at those curls, y'all. Look at those curls. But anyways, look at the up close and personal. That's after I sewed that one track on. And yes, I did cut it, but granted, it did not mess up my hair, and I didn't get that much more shedding than I normally would. So now I'm gonna just pull the hair up, get it out of my way, because I don't want it in my way. Do whatever you gotta do. You can put a little braid, you can put a little knot, you can do whatever. I didn't have any scrunchies or anything, so I just used the hair and put in a little knot and called it quits. And then continue to keep adding the bundles in the same direction until that little gap that you have at the side is filled up. Once it's filled up at the side, you can go back to doing what you were doing with the regular up and around, up and around. I leave a little bit more space than I normally would. Okay, y'all, so my camera died, didn't know it, but this is how much space was left with the two bundles. I had to be ghetto to finish the video, but it's okay. So I just added 3 more tracks of the third bundle, which was the 16-inch, so it's not much 16-inch in there, but I'm just showing you the tracks that I added. I leave a little bit more space at the top, just so, again, it lays a little bit flatter for me. Now I'm just showing you the finished product of the inside, and you see where there's no lining, no stitching, that's the part where you want to cut out. That's where your frontal is going to be, and boom, just cut it out. Keep that elastic if you want, and you can make a whole elastic band out of it if you need it. I don't like it, but that, I was just showing you what it looks like after you cut it off, and this is the elastic I was talking about. If you want to keep it, you can sew it to the back of your head. Alright, so remember these lines right here, people? So you just want to cut and make sure it lines up with your ear, and then do it on the other side. Cut, make it line up with your ear. This is how the wig looks, by the way, and I didn't even pluck the edges. I'm gonna go in and pluck, but I'm gonna wait. Okay, this is where we just cut. We want to take this off now, so it can go kind of behind the ear. Same thing with this one. Cut that off. I'll be back and show you. And see, you can just pull it down. That's exactly where we cut, so it can go right behind the ear. Again, same thing. Right behind the ear. And now, we need to just pluck. This is how full the hair looks, right behind the ear. I kind of like this hair. It's nice and full. like these curls, and I didn't even wash it or anything yet. I'm gonna add some color, but I'm gonna pluck it first. Stay tuned. Okay guys, this is the final look. I kind of left the baby hairs long just for now because I just want to do a look. This is the final look, and the light is slayed. I didn't really glue it on too well, but I just did it like this really quick because I am running super late for work. So this is the final look. I love this curl pen. Look at this curl pen, y'all. This isn't wet. It looks a little frizzy right now just because I wet it. I put a little bit of mousse and I'm trying to like do something with it for now. I am gonna color it chocolate brown. I think that's the color for me, for this color. But yeah, I'll show you pictures later. Here are some pictures of how I highlighted the wig. I foiled them. It's easier for me. And for the front, for the bang, I just bleached it. Everything else was the color and it worked out good. Alright guys, no filter needed, but wig, what y'all feel? Look at it in the light. Hold up. The same wig, different color. What do you guys think?